Dating interracially as a man of mixed race. Now, I want to preface this video with the fact that this does not apply to everyone of mixed race. This is not a one-size-fits-all scenario. This is purely personal experiences that I have dealt with throughout my life when engaging with the opposite sex. Now, to give a little bit of background about myself, I am 24 years old. I am mixed race, those races including Filipino and African American and Salvadorian. So I have 3 different races. Mother being of full African American descent and father being half and half. Now, my experiences with dating are definitely a mixed bag of scenarios. I'd say I had more success when I was younger compared to now, but I will give a little bit of an idea of what I feel people of the opposite sex view me as when they are engaging with me. Now, my first real girlfriend, I'd say, was Hispanic, and that didn't last too long, but shortly after that, I engaged with a girl that was of Asian descent. Now, keep in mind, I am also mixed race Asian, but my appearance is not Asian in the slightest. So, growing up, I had to deal with a lot of certain looks from, families and such when engaging with people outside of my race. Now, mind you, I grew up in the woke era, so interracial dating has been slightly more accepted nowadays. In fact, I feel like it's something that is pushed more often than not. However, for some of us out here, we might get a shorter end of the stick than others. So traditionally, I'd say if you're a full African American man, you'll have some trouble being fully accepted into some of these people's families when talking to them through your significant other. Now, me personally, I've had somewhat of this experience growing up. I mean, it hasn't been the worst and it hasn't been the best. Also giving a little bit of background, I have grown up in a suburban neighborhood, and I definitely have a bit of a whitewashed somewhat vocabulary. So I definitely didn't get the dirtiest of looks from families growing up, but I wouldn't say I was fully accepted either. Now, as time went on, I've had different experiences with different women. One common occurrence that I have noticed with these women, if they are not of my own race, which I would identify as African American mostly, is that they're definitely looking at media for what they get out of a black man. So, for example, most desired black men you can see on media, whether that be through Hollywood, sports, or any other forms of media that are African American dominated, they definitely want a certain type. They most likely are going to go after more physically dominant, I'd say more masculine to hyper-masculine males. And this theory, in my opinion, has been proven to me wholeheartedly throughout my experience, due to the fact that when I have dated interracially, there seems to be a very unfair comparison to the next man. For example, if I am dating someone outside of my race, what I have noticed is, for example, a white woman, if I was to be desired by a white woman, usually these white women that desire me are usually of a lower income or are usually of a rougher background. Normally, I feel the women that are, white or European or whatever, that desire black men aren't of the typical, strong, structured family and I'd say educated background. Normally, the white women that do desire me have been, for lack of a better word, more hood. And this comes with its own, set of problems, depending on what you look for. But for the most part, I feel it's a very hard role to fill when you have to, cater to them. So, for example, if you are something like me and come from like a better background, don't necessarily get into violent shit and or criminal activity, it's going to be harder for you as a black man to attract these women. And most likely, the other women that are going to have the attitude that you have aren't even going to be attracted to you physically. For example, if you are nerdier or a little bit better talking than most other, brothers, then you're not really attracting white women that way. Really, what white women want out of you is your physical. What they look for in you is your physical. That means through body, that means through height, length of limbs, and or that certain limb that most women look for in black men. And if you don't follow those certain stereotypes, you probably won't last too long in the dating pool. And this could even be applied to inside or outside your race, because that's simply what our attraction as black men is based off of. It's based off of hypermasculinity, it's based off of hypersexuality, and it's based off of stereotypes that were presented through either media or, honestly, just society itself, or even better yet, the black community itself. You see, the most desired black men, whether that's in or outside of the black community, are usually the people that have somewhat of either a criminal background, and if it's not that, it's going to be an aggressive, dominant nature. And as a black man, if you do not fit these stereotypical roles while dating, especially interracially, I feel, you are going to have a difficult time. You are going to have a difficult time retaining as well as attracting certain females that would normally desire you. I've noticed this while experiences through dating apps, through real life, through social media, where a woman will see my profile based off appearance, judge me, but when hearing me talk or meeting me in person to get a better feel for my personality, they realize very soon that I am not what they thought I was. They realize very soon that what they like in black men, I lack very much. So, if you are anything like me and have issues, whether in or outside of your race, usually I feel this is the problem. Usually the problem stems from not following suit into stereotypes, because in my opinion, when people date outside of their race, they're usually going for the stereotypes. For example, if I'm an Asian girl and I'm trying to date a white man, I'm usually looking for the taller, more attractive white man, at least with facial features. And not only that, I'm also looking for a white man with money. Vice versa, if I'm a white woman looking for a black man, I'm probably going to look for a taller, more aggressive, more muscular and or endowed black man. And if any of these stereotypes fall through when I am trying to seek a person of the opposite race, I'm probably not going to be in a relationship with them. This is an unfortunate truth that has been presented to me countless times over my trials and tribulations of dating. Now, these scenarios that I was presented with have made me think a few things. But one of them is definitely not to give up. But number two is that a lot of this interracial dating, to me, feels superficial. A lot of people want something from somebody. There is a list of attributes that you can point at for a certain group that people are looking for. And if you do not have these attributes, it's going to be hard for you to date. Simply put, if you are not a stereotypical smart Asian, it's going to be hard for you to get somebody that is attracted to you. If you are not stereotypical smart, I'd say prissy, submissive and obtainable Asian woman, it will be hard for you. These are some of the weird realities I've noticed in this life. And if anyone can relate to these, say it in the comments below. But this is definitely something I've noticed, and I feel like this is why I have the most trouble retaining women in society today. I have been presented with a lot of relationship potential, only to be quickly met with either rejection or ghosting. And I feel this is the main source of the issue. Now, while I can't say that only people outside of my race have given me this problem, it's also happened inside of my race as well. And it's unfortunate because I've been told most of my life that most of it is just personality and confidence. However, after many, many countless times of seeing the same scenarios over and over and over again, the only thing that has been proven to me is that that is a false statement. In reality, what is happening is that I do not fit the stereotypes that most women desire out of a black man. Hell, I've heard from black women that I'm not black enough for them to date. I've heard countless things of that nature, and it's upsetting. It's upsetting because interracial couples will happen more and more, and not a lot of people will realize the repercussions of the effects that they'll have on their children. They will not think about the reality that their children will have to face when they're growing up in this society, not knowing that they'll be ostracized by both sides just as much as the other. And it's an upsetting reality that me personally, I have to deal with and find ways to cope with daily. I have a lot of trouble finding my identity within even my own community, like I said, because I can get ostracized just based off how I look or engagements with them and how they feel I should be. This is the reality of not only dating interracially, but being sociable at all interracially. I hope someone out there can relate to what I'm saying here, but for the most part, this is an individual experience, biased experience. I'm just letting you know how it's gone for me. And what I'm saying is, dating interracially, while pushed a lot in social media today and society today, you see every commercial with a guy of one race and a girl of another, right? If you do not fit the stereotypes that these people are looking for within these little communities, you will not really be able to be accepted by the other races. In which I respond with, most likely you will have more success in your own race than outside. If you feel as if you are one of these people that do not fit the stereotypical molds that have been created by society, you are most likely better off staying within your own race for dating. But this is my own personal opinion. This is not solidified fact. You can do whatever you want with your life. But as a mixed race man of myself, like myself, this is how I feel about the situation. If anybody has any varying opinions, let me know in the comments. Just wanted to have a talk about the current dating of America, the West in 2024. I'd love to hear any other opinions or any other experiences in the comments. Again, my name, I will not say my name. Have a good one.